14 News, this is Touchdown Live in the Huddle. Sponsored by your Tri-State Ford dealers. There's more in store. Stop by today.
Welcome, everybody, to Touchdown Live in the Huddle. Spooky edition, Aaron. Spooky. Yes. Not only is it Halloween, it's also scary hours because we are further into the sectional round in Indiana, Aaron.
Yes, that is right, Max. But the playoffs are starting in Illinois, and there is just 1 week left in the regular season in Kentucky. Ooh.
Yes, there we go. So much to look ahead to. We'll break down the game of the week, talk to coaches and more. But first, we go to Player of the Week.
Yes, we do. We must check in with last week's top vote getter.
Yes.
And who might that be?
Well, Aaron, it's Jaron Johnson, of course, and I caught up with him earlier this week. Hey, everybody, we are back to check in with another Player of the Week winner. This time around, a familiar face, a guy we saw last year. We're in Union County to talk to Jaron Johnson. Jaron, you already got one. Here's number two. This your first time around for this year. Congratulations, man. Another just crazy rushing performance for you. How are those legs doing?
They feel good. I'm back rested up now.
Okay, so I think it was 10 rushes, 228 yards on the ground for you. Is that because it's really a consistent performance at this point from you? Is there a time at the beginning of the game when you're like, all right, this is going to be a crazy game, this is going to be a medium crazy game, or this is going to be an all-out crazy game?
Before the games, I'm just nervous as it is, no matter who we're playing. So I mean, my emotions are super high.
So you get nervous before games?
Oh yeah.
Okay, how do you calm yourself down? Any pregame routines or anything like that?
No, I don't have none. The first play, after first play, I'm good to go.
Okay, so first play, you're good to go. Then you lay down a performance like this that gets you our Week 9 Player of the Week. What do you do after? Do you celebrate? Do you rewatch the performance? Do you go straight to bed? What's the game plan after?
I usually just go home and chill, go to sleep.
Okay, any Xbox games like that? PlayStation?
Nah, usually
TV?
I'm tired.
Just straight to sleep?
Yeah, usually I'm just tired.
All right, straight to sleep. You got a big one coming up here, so we wish you the best of luck the rest of the year. What are you trying to get done with this team?
Win state.
All right, there you have it. Congratulations again, Jaron, our Week 9 Player of the Week. All right, that's a man ready for business right there. Now, before we make the big reveal, Aaron, let's take one more look through our list of nominees for Week 10.
Yes, we'll start in Kentucky. Nominee 1, Owensboro running back Evan Hampton. The Red Devil ball carrier rushed for 195 yards on 24 carries with 2 touchdowns. He also caught the ball twice for 23 receiving yards and 1 more touchdown. Hampton helped lead the Red Devils to a statement 38-28 win over Madisonville.
All right, up next, nominee number 2, Caden Kramer, the Southridge Raider. Dominant on offense and defense. 17 carries for 248 yards and 2 touchdowns on offense. 12 tackles on defense. Southridge gets a big round 1 win, 55-35 over Mount Vernon.
And here we go to the third nominee, Jasper's Nate Lukemeyer. Read this stat line: 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. You see there that a teammate would return for a touchdown. Lukemeyer really making a bid as the ultimate do-it-all guy as Jasper advances in the sectional with a 54-29 win over Harrison.
All right, and for our final nominee, let's do it again. The entire Forest Park defense. Yes. This unit put up numbers you just can't ignore, headlined by 4 interceptions that all came in the second half. 2 of those picks, they returned for touchdowns to spark a come-from-behind win over South Spencer. Will Steckler had 2 picks, Jaden Bettag had 1, and Austin Eckert had the other. What a group effort.
Wow.
From 14 News, this is Touchdown Live, Player of the Week, sponsored by your Tri-State Ford dealers. There's more in store. Stop by today.
All right, Aaron, the time has officially come. The votes are counted. Do the honors, my friend.
All right, Max, your Week 10 Player of the Week is, oh my, the Forest Park defense. Looks like the voters couldn't pass up those 4 second-half interceptions and 2 defensive touchdowns off of those for pick sixes. So we will hear from the Ranger D on next week's edition of In the Huddle.
Now, if you missed out on voting this week, don't worry. Hop on the train next week. Download the 14 Sports app. Head to the Player of the Week tab. Vote as many times as you'd like. Hey, you can even practice on Monday night for Election Day on Tuesday. And then if you have so much fun on Election Day, you can just keep voting for Player of the Week on Wednesday and Thursday. What a beautiful setup that is. Voting is open conveniently Monday at 6:30 to Thursday at 6:30. So vote as much as you can next week. Now, coming up on In the Huddle, it's time for our Tri-State Insider segment. Mitch is ready to go, waiting in the wings. We break down our game of the week.
And you can't break down the plays without talking to the men who come up with them. So we will hear from both head coaches for our game of the week teams later in the show.
Welcome back to In the Huddle. Boo. Gotcha, it's Halloween. See, it's your first time hopping on the show for today, so I had to take my opportunity.
Certainly.
Gotcha. If you're one of our returning viewers, we don't typically do this whole scary thing. It's Halloween. But what we do typically do is our Tri-State Football Insider segment. That would be with Mitch Carter. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Max, thank you as always for having me. Let's get this thing rolling. I'm scared. Let's roll. I'm ready to go. Let's get out of here.
If you're new here, this is where we break down our Touchdown Live game of the week. Mitchell Carter, a state champ with Southridge. Then he played D1 football for Ball State. Fair to say he knows a thing or two about football. We'll talk about the biggest plays, who to watch out for, and of course we'll finish up with Carter's Call where he picks out who's coming out on top.
That's right. Coming down to the wire here. I'll have to tally up my record officially at the end of the season, but I've been right the majority of our year here so far. So I'd take my chances with my bets.
Yes, sir. Your record speaks for itself. We'll see if you can keep it going this week. Now for our game of the week, we're headed up north to Du Bois County.
Right.
Jasper Wildcats hosting the Wrights Panthers.
A little Wildcats versus Panthers, a little Big Cat on Big Cat
Yes.
action on Friday night. Not to mention, of course, a repeat of a matchup we saw earlier this season. Should be a fun one. Winner, of course, looking to cash their ticket to the chip.
Yeah, so let's start with the Wildcats here, heading up to your neck of the woods, my friend, Du Bois County. I'll let you take the reins.
Well, of course, Jasper sitting at 6-4 after a high-scoring affair with Harrison High School last Friday.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff right there.
Yeah, and barring a tough opener against Memorial, those losses this season have been overwhelmingly close games, and as we know, anything can happen in the postseason. Looking at their production, they're a little bit slower style of offense. We're taking a look at Wrights here now, as the Panthers on defense, they've been tough, but it's been their offense that has really carried them.
Of course, Ben Davies and the gang, tough squad over there, right? I mean, that's no secret. This is the same polished Wrights team we've seen week in and week out, 4 years now. They are well coached. They're always disciplined. It's the same with Jasper as well. Both these squads can go head-to-head pretty much any day of the week.
Yeah, Panthers, they're 8-2 on the year. Only losses coming to Castle and Memorial, of course. Those two squads in the playoffs as well, Wrights, their offense is huge. But let's bring it back to the Jasper offense now. Running that triple option, guys like A.J. Holzman, Max Bueltel at quarterback. Yeah. This is where they can really move and shift defenses around, and they did just that last week against Harrison.
They're kind of this slower style, if you will. Looking at this video here, they're one of those, they kind of want to chip away at you, and then take the big play when it comes, right? Very much, if I can say it, kind of a Du Bois County style offense, right?
And you would know.
I would. I've played a little bit. We played Jasper when I was in school, and they're a very tough team, obviously. They're a small area, but a big school right there. They've got a lot of talented guys, and all the credit for both these squads, their guys up front. They are looking to get nasty in the box in there. It's a lot of big boys banging heads on Friday, and of course, they can all play. It's not a secret there on offense and defense. You don't get to the second round, especially you don't move on unless you're a good player.
And we just got done talking about it in our Player of the Week segment. One of our nominees this week, Nate Lukemeyer, he packed the stat sheet on both offense and defense for Jasper last week. Rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. He had an interception and a fumble that was recovered by another teammate in return for a touchdown.
Right.
So they've got dogs on both sides. But we've seen the tape now. We've talked X's and O's for both squads. Time for Carter's Call. Who's going to be?
Yeah, two tough teams here. This one, not as easy to pick as we've had this week. Of course, just like last week, we've got two teams who are familiar with one another, right? Wrights, of course, knocking off Jasper earlier this season, but we know records mean zilch in postseason play, right? Might as well be 0-0. And of course, now they're both 1-0, second round. You get the idea. Of course, this might not be the popular choice. It might not even be the right choice, but I got to go with my gut here. Take me back home. Take me back to Du Bois County. Give me the Jasper Wildcats, our cross-county rivals, but I got to put some respect on Duco. Put them in the 4A chip. Give me Jasper on Friday night, taking down the Panthers of Rice High School.
All right, Mitch's pick is in, Aaron. Now let's shift gears a little bit for our team check-in. Today, let's head to Kentucky, take a closer look at a squad who has been on a tear really for the past few years.
Yes, and that would be the Union County Braves. Things are going well in Morganfield as the Braves sit at 8-2, riding a 6-game win streak. In their last 4 games, Union County has scored, look at this, 211 points.
Wow.
That's averaging over 50 a game.
Yes.
So let's put it this way. The offense is humming.
Absolutely. Quarterback and running back Jaron Johnson, who we heard from earlier in the show. He's the star of the show on offense, recently winning our Week 9 Player of the Week voting after a 10-rush, 228-yard performance in a win over Hancock County. But Johnson isn't doing it alone. Head coach Derek John says things are clicking in the trenches.
Man, our O-line's playing well. You know, we're best when our O-line's playing well and our D-line. You know, and that's I know it sounds simple, and it is simple. You know, football is simple. If you can win line of scrimmage, it makes you know, for your team to have a big advantage.
Not only does Jaron Johnson excel on the field, but he also sets a great example in practice as a leader. Johnson sets the tone, and it has spread throughout the team.
At practice, they go hard, which, I mean, it boosts everybody's morale. So, I mean, everybody's working hard. So, I mean, it's gonna happen. We lost 2 games earlier in the season, and we kind of responded well. I feel like we've practiced harder and we responded to it well.
The Braves host Greenwood tomorrow night. Now, coming up on In the Huddle, don't go anywhere. We'll hear from both head coaches for our Game of the Week teams.
Plus, we take a peek back at last week's top plays with Mitch Carter coming back, and he'll be over at the telescreen.
Relive the biggest moments from Friday night's high school football games with Touchdown Live Turf Talk. We show you the top 5 plays of the week and break down who's going head-to-head in this week's biggest matchups. Touchdown Live Turf Talk, streaming every Tuesday on your favorite 14-news streaming device.
Welcome back in. We turn our attention right back to our Game of the Week. Let's hear from both teams' head coaches as we get ready for Jasper versus Wrights.
Yes, Max. Last time around, Wrights felt pretty comfortable down the stretch, winning 28-14. But when it comes to playing Jasper, you always have to be on your toes.
Yes, you do. Really, nobody else in the SIAC runs an offense like the Wildcats do. So all week, the Panthers, they needed to get their defense ready for a surprise.
Offensively, they're running the option, triple option, so we definitely got to be very disciplined, and we'll do our best practice-wise to assimilate, which is very hard to do. So again, we stress our guys. You got to watch film to see it, and hopefully we can prepare them through drills and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely a hard offense to stop, and hopefully we can slow them down.
Now, last time these teams met, Wrights had a very successful day running the ball, but Jasper head coach Tony Lewis knows his defense, they've got to be prepped for everything.
Defensively, Wrights is around 60-40 run to pass, and they're a very balanced team. They're going to run the football and set up their play action, and Corey does a great job with the passing game, as well as if you're committing to certain things on certain situations, they're going to run some trick plays on you. So you always have to be aware of those things.
Well, you folks know the drill. I'll be live at Jasper. My first look at their fresh new look stadium too, Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be live there ahead of the game at 4, 5, and 6 Central Time tomorrow evening. I'm saying that both for you folks, if anyone from Jasper is watching, to keep in mind that time change, and more so for myself so that I remember. Very good, Max.
Yes, and that is a sharp new grandstand and area around the stadium.
I can't wait.
It's pretty cool.
I'll have to lie in it during my live shots.
There you go.
Kind of hang out.
Yep, and of course, highlights will follow later tomorrow on Touchdown Live. And speaking of highlights, we had plenty last week. Mitch Carter over at the telestrator, right over there to break down some of his favorites.
Welcome back for our Plays of the Week, and it just means more now that we're in the postseason. Let's get right into it here. Starting off with a really interesting matchup between South Spencer and Forest Park. The Rebels beat the Rangers 1 month ago at home, but now this game's up in Ferdinand. In the postseason, records don't mean nothing. Whining moments in the first half right here. 14-3. Rebels up. Stop right there. Somebody call Sports Center. Aaron Shredder escapes the pressure. He rolls out right there. My man is elevating, getting off the ground, showing the honeys in the stands, the bunnies right there. Nice release off the top of the rope right there. I'm clearing this out. Roll the tape and watch as he drops one in the bucket to Tyler Fetter. Easy catch, way to high point it, does a little somersault, easy peasy, first down, Rangers inside of the 10. Keep an eye on number 0, right? 2 plays later, Treader to Feder again, this time a handoff, and he is running violent. Feder dives in the end zone, another somersault. The guy cannot stay on his feet. He loves rolling around right there, and that kind of effort right there helped the Rangers pull within 4 and then come from behind to win this one 36-21 over South Spencer, avenging that loss earlier in the season and punching their ticket to next week. Up next here, let's talk to Princeton, right? Heading up north for more small school ball. The Tigers hosting Vincennes Lincoln. This one off to an electric start. Roll it. Princeton's Carwin Pope takes the opening kickoff here, and watch him as he goes up north right here and starts moving to the sideline, right? Stop right up here, right? Already a problem, right? He's making guys miss. He immediately goes forward and cuts left. It's a big issue, right? He hits the hash and the numbers. No one stopping him on his way to the sideline. He's already kind of circumnavigating the defense right here. This angle where he missed that tackle is a big problem. With no contain, bad things happen. Roll the clip and watch this very first play, first kickoff, making a miss. Returns the opening kickoff right there. Never a chance from the kicker. All the way home, baby, for a touchdown to make it 6-0 Tigers. Great way to start. Ultimately, though, the Alice's offense gets going, and they turn it on from there to win 43-12 over Princeton. But, of course, what an awesome highlight there for that young man to wrap up their season. Up next, heading over to Romaine Stadium, where Harrison was hosting Jasper, a little SIAC repeat matchup. Let's get right into this thing here. Go ahead and roll it. Anthony Bavone on the carry here, bobbing and weaving through traffic and rut row. Here it comes. He's trying to stay up, trying to gain more. Check that out right there. You see who that is? That's the ball right there. Fumble. Hate to see that. Now, listen. I talked about it last week, right? The difference between a country ball and a city ball. Same thing here, right? Country ball, of course, meaning it's the country. All this wide open space, that's the opportunity where you have to kind of scoop and score, right? You pick it up, you got room to run, take it home. City ball, of course, everyone's around, just fall on it, just get the possession of it there, get the ball back. Of course, this one, nothing but white jerseys all around right here. Perfect time for a country ball. Go ahead and roll the clip here and watch the defense scoop it up, baby. Ethan Young picks it up off the ground. 24 is getting loose, racing to the end zone for a Jasper touchdown. Scoop and score from the defensive glory, and Jasper goes on to win a high-scoring affair, 54-29 over Harrison, punching their ticket to the next round as well. We'll see you gentlemen on Friday. Up next, heading to Gibson County for another barn burner in the Class 3A sectional. Heritage Hills versus Gibson Southern. Sound familiar? A rematch of last year's semi-state matchup. These two always electric when they go head-to-head. Roll it. Patriots ball, right? You know who he is. Goldsberry in the pocket right there, trying to find time. He's got time, rolling out, doubles back across the field again. We've seen this 1,000 times. Watch this pump fake, psych, and check him on the end zone. We'll stop right there, right? How many times have we seen Jet Goldsberry make plays like this, right? I mean, light on his feet right there. Literally, I think last year, earlier in the, maybe our first week, I showed a play from last year that I love where he was getting tackled by Gibson Southern on this field, almost the same yard line, throwing and getting caught on his shoulder right here. Now he's got all this space right here, and he is an improved player from last year even. Once again, just like we saw in that very first play, just making things happen on the run. He is dangerous, and you got to get pressure on him before he makes you pay, because his receiving core, as you will see, will find a way to get open and make a grab here. Roll it. Bullet pass to Dalton Pledger, and he makes the catch here inbounds. Now listen, they might have got away with one here. We'll see, but we'll never know. They called it inbounds, baby. That's a 17-yard gain to midfield, and it wouldn't matter if that was complete or not, because Heritage Hills rolls to a 35-18 win over Gibson Southern, guaranteeing we'll see them again on Friday once again. And finally, 9-0 Memorial against 7-2 Mater Dei. Earlier this season, the Tigers won their previous meeting 41-13, pulling away in the second half. So what's going to happen tonight? Let's roll it. Into the second here, Matthew Fish takes a snap and rolls out really quick, doubles back for a screen, and stop right there. Ruh-roh. Memorial's Bryant Carr, senior, right there, number 61, salivating, chomping at the bit to meet number 19 right there. Ouch! Oh my goodness, tell you what, I've been a part of these collisions, both receiving and delivering in my time, and it feels a whole lot better to be Bryant here than the latter. Roll it. Cram crushes him, makes it easy, leaves a free lane for Luke Dockery, straight to pay dirt. Touchdown Tigers. Memorial wins it again. Now slated to take on Southridge at Enlow after defeating Mater Dei 34-14. What a shot right there. What a touchdown, and that kind of aggression and all that. I mean, whew, hate to be that guy. That's no fun. Of course, join us again next week as we'll be looking toward the sectional championships right here in Indiana and bringing you the top players from the previous week. We'll see you then.
All right, one more segment to go on our show, and it's my favorite. Aaron Hancock heads to the red zone for some quick hip fire questions.
Oh yeah, and we'll break down the schedules for the other games in our area as we get pumped up for Week 11.
Welcome back in. No time to waste, folks. I'm going to send it right over to Aaron. He is in the red zone.
Hey, yes, we're here for our In the Red Zone segment with Wright's senior quarterback Ben Davies. Ben, welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about pre-game stuff. What do you like to eat before a game?
I usually just go to Chick-fil-A, have a nice little sandwich, fries.
Awesome. How about music? What do you like to listen to that hypes you up before a game?
I usually just give the speaker to one of my friends and let them play what they want.
Who would you say is the biggest goofball, the biggest prankster?
AJ Coach. He does some goofy stuff in the locker room and in the weight room.
All right. What about Coach Brunson? What's your favorite quote that he says a lot?
Probably just bring your A game, get us right, mindset right for every game, every practice.
School-wise, what's your favorite subject?
Lunch, probably. I'd go with. If we're talking real classes, though, I'd have to say math.
What do you want to do after you get out of school and everything?
Probably go to college for economics and business.
Food-wise, ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup.
Burgers or hot dog?
Burgers.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Favorite teams, NFL?
Seattle Seahawks.
College football?
Purdue Boilermakers.
All right, Ben. Thanks for joining us, man.
No problem.
Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Good luck against Jasper.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send it back to the studio.
There you go. There you have it. Thanks, Aaron. Great stuff. And now, of course, we turn the page to look at some more games across the tri-state. We've got plenty to get pumped up for our Week 11 slate. Let's take a look at what we have on deck. Class 5A sectional.
Yes.
North at New Albany and Castle at Floyd Central. Two big-time away games there.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. North is at home.
Yes.
I typed that wrong. It's my fault.
It's okay. It's okay. We've got it figured out. North is home, everybody. Castle is on the road. There we go. Why don't you take 4A now?
And by the way, it's the sectional opener in 5A because they have less teams. They wait a week to do it. So
there you
it's
go.
the semifinals already there. And in the 4A sectional, we're down to the semifinals after last week's first round. Boonville hosts Bossy, who had a bye. And then our game of the week, as we have talked about, Wrights travels to Jasper. That should be a doozy.
Oh, yes. Now, Class 3A sectional, Southridge on the road at Enloe Field to face an undefeated Memorial Tiger squad. Then Vincennes Lincoln makes the trip to the Jungle to take on Heritage Hills.
Oh, yeah. In Class 2A, Tell City is home this week, and they will take on Salem. A couple of 5 and 5s going at it there. The other side of the bracket is tough. Paoli and Brownstown Central. Woof. Goodness.
All right, now let's move to Class 1A. That sectional has Perry Central hosting North Davies. And then Forest Park on the road at Providence, the Rangers against the Pioneers.
Yes, and I think Providence is maybe undefeated. That's going to be a tough one for Forest Park. Down in Kentucky, the last Friday of their regular season. Finally, Henderson County at Owensboro in a rivalry dating, or actually, it's the other way around. Why did I say that? Owensboro is at Henderson County. Henderson County is at home. It's a rivalry that dates back to 1957, though, which is obviously a long time ago.
Yes.
And then Apollo, they are at Davis County. That's the last game of their city-county rivalry series.
Wow, a packed slate, so rest up tonight, folks. We've got a big day tomorrow.
Yep.
That'll do it for our show tonight. Thank you all so much for watching our Touchdown Live in the Huddle pregame show. We hope you enjoyed our in-depth look at some of the best football teams across the tri-state.
Yes, and we'll be back each Thursday night at 7 to preview teams in creative ways. This would not have been possible without our entire production crew, our marketing team. Thank you to all of you for all the work you put in to make this happen.
Yes, and for highlights of all your favorite games, be sure to join us back here for our Touchdown Live show every Friday night on the 14 Sports app at 10:45. And then, of course, we'll feature our Express version on 14 News at 10. We'll see you there.